Have you ever wondered who you were in your past life, where you lived, what kind of job you had, who you were married to, if you had kids, how many? Well, if you're curious about this topic, I'm going to give you 5 ways to learn about or remember your past lives. Hi, I'm Alexandra, and I'm excited to empower you to embody your electric radiance. Join me as we explore spiritual and metaphysical topics that will spark your third eye open and connect you to the universe. So I've been fascinated with past lives since I was a kid. I've always really loved history, and I've always believed in reincarnation ever since I learned about death. When I was a child, I think about 5 years old, I asked my mom what happens after you die. And of course there's a long explanation for this, but kind of the short answer was that you kind of go to another realm and then you reincarnate. And I think that's fascinating. I think it's great that we get a lot of chances to learn and spiritually grow and experience this amazing physical world and this human body. So here are 5 ways that you can remember your past lives. Okay, so the first way is actually really subtle. You might not even realize that it's happening. So if you've ever had a feeling of deja vu, or you've been in a place where you're like, gosh, this just feels really familiar to me, but I've never been here before, in this life anyway. If you've ever had those feelings like you've been in a location before, or maybe you've been somewhere, but you just like really know it, and you suddenly are just like, oh wait, I know if I turn around this corner, I would find this shop, or it doesn't even have to be that intense. Sometimes, I mean, you could just be at a beautiful beach like I am here on the shore of Lake Michigan, and maybe you're just really intensely called to be in a certain location and just really feel at home in that location. So if you ever start to feel at home somewhere, even though it's not your home, or you haven't lived there, or you've never even been there, chances are you might have been in a past life. So this can lead to spontaneous recall. So if you start to have these feelings where you're really tapped into a location and you believe like maybe you've been there before, take a moment and just start to take it in. Do any images come into your mind? You may actually have a spontaneous recall of actually really being there. And pay attention to your feelings, because your intuitive senses are kicking in and you're ready to get started recalling your past life. So I know I have definitely had these feelings. When I visited Pompeii, and I've been there a few times now, I have the distinct feeling that I definitely lived there. If you visited Pompeii and you have that feeling too, let me know. I'd love to connect with you. But I know a lot of people visit Pompeii and they say it feels like death, but I've never had that feeling when I'm walking those streets of ancient Pompeii. When I am at the ruins, it just feels so alive. Like I can just like feel like the life energy. I feel like I could just like look around the corner and like see people walking down the street and like people in shops, and I just feel like it's so alive, and I just really get the feeling that I lived there. So another way that you can recall past lives is from dreams. Now, not every dream is a past life, but I'm sure you've probably had some dreams where they were just so vivid and real, but they were like in a former time period, right? In a location maybe you've never been in this life, or in a time period maybe you're not even very familiar with. If that's the case, it might be recall from a dream that you're having. So start to pay attention to your dreams. Really look at the details, especially if it's a dream that's recurring. because those dreams that are intense and have a different time period and maybe in a location you've never been in, but you seem to like know all the characters around you, you know all the relationships, really start to pay attention. You can even go deeper and perhaps even do some lucid dreaming to go back into these dreams and to get the information that you're seeking. But pay attention and really know when you wake up, think to yourself, ask your higher self, was this dream one of my past lives? And just really listen to your heart. You'll know the answer. So I have been recalling past lives since I was a child through my dreams. That was the first way that I really got started remembering my past lives. And it was just so clear to me that these were past lives. I've remembered past lives in my dreams from ancient Rome to ancient Egypt to the time when I was a conquistador in South America. I mean, there are some intense dreams that I've had that are clearly past lives. All right, so the third way to tap into your past lives is through meditation. And specifically guided meditation, but you can also do this without listening to a guided meditation. But there are many guided meditations that can take you basically through a mini regression session, okay? Where you can go within yourself and really start to regress your own self back into time and back into your past lives. If you are able to go through the meditation process either on your own or through a guided meditation, it is invaluable. I know that I was able to go deep in a meditation in my teenage years, and I actually recalled a time when I was a priestess in ancient Sumeria. It was very intense, and I actually did another meditation, a group meditation that wasn't actually a past life regression meditation, but it was just a group meditation where I had more recall of this past life. So don't discount what comes up in your meditations. I would love to make a guided meditation to help you do that. If that is something that interests you, comment below. Let me know if you would like a guided meditation to guide you to find out your past life. So the fourth way that you can learn about your past lives is by getting a past life reading by a psychic or medium, or from someone who reads the Akashic records. And essentially, the psychic or Akashic reader will tap in to your energy and seek to find out what your past lives may have been. But either way, they're going to draw out that information and hopefully give you something to work with and grow with. Now, I will say this though about past life readings. You may find something out that maybe isn't actually valuable to you in this lifetime. It may not be important for you to remember every single life. I had a past life reading when I was a teenager from a psychic who read that I was in India. I was married to an abusive husband, and I believe she said he actually ended up killing me, like basically abusing me to death, and that I was carrying that forward. Now, the interesting thing is I've always been drawn to India. I have a very good friend from India. I've really connected with everything Indian, from the clothes to the colors to the dance to the religious beliefs to the food. I love the food. So that really was a confirmation of that connection. But learning that you have an abusive husband, especially in your teenage years, and maybe judgment coming from the reader is not the best thing. So I would just say be careful who you go to for a past life reading if you choose to go this route, and be aware that even spiritual people have judgments. So And you should be in a place where you are also judgment-free, because if you find out something horrible like that, you don't want to bring that kind of negativity into your life. You just want to observe it as an observer. Remember, we are all actors playing a part in this wonderful world of the universe, and we have many parts to play, and that was just one part. It doesn't mean you have to bring that forward into this life. And the fifth way to learn about your past lives, and this one's my favorite, is through past life regression. So past life regression would be facilitated by a hypnotist to take you through a past life regression hypnosis, taking you back before you were born and back into your past lives that are most meaningful for you in this life. And that is fascinating to me because I have just completed my certification in Beyond Quantum Healing. I'm going to make another video about that, but I will also drop a link to a video from my teacher, Candace Craw-Goldman, who developed Beyond Quantum Healing. I'll link to her YouTube channel, Quantum Healers, below in the show notes, and you can learn a little bit more about Beyond Quantum Healing. And then in my next video, I'm going to talk a lot more about Beyond Quantum Healing and how you can work with me getting past life regression. So the first time I had a past life regression facilitated for me, I went back to France in the 1400s, and that makes sense because I love like the Renaissance period, and I love France too, so I can't complain there. But I found out that one of my sisters was my sister back then as well. That was very clear to me. So this is something really interesting that can come out of learning about your past lives. Essentially, and this is another topic for another video, let me know if you want to hear about this topic in another video, but essentially, you're going to find out that some family members and close friends have been with you before in past lives. So people do travel in soul groups, lifetime to lifetime, and you're going to find some really neat connections. Let me know if you have found any connections in the comments below like this. Maybe, you were connected to a parent or a child, your husband or wife, your, best friend maybe in a past life. Let me know. I want to hear about it. So there are a couple of great books to get you started on reincarnation. And there's definitely more than a couple, but here are some fun ones that recount stories of past lives if you want to kind of pique your interest and get excited about the history and the stories and all of that. The first book that I read on reincarnation was The Search for Bridie Murphy, and it's a classic. It was written in 1956 by Maury Bernstein, and he hypnotized a woman who went back into a past life in Ireland in the 1800s. And another great book is 5 Lives Remembered by Dolores Cannon, and my husband and I actually just finished reading this. I'm surprised I hadn't read it up until this point because I've devoured a lot of reincarnation material, but it's a really fascinating book about a woman who goes through past life regression and recounts 5 lives. So how many past lives have you remembered, and how did you remember them? Let me know which techniques that you learned in this video that helped you remember your past lives. And if you haven't learned about your past lives yet, I'm so excited for you to start remembering. Did you like this video? Give me a thumbs up if so. And if you want more content like this, go ahead and hit the subscribe button and that notification bell. Share with a friend, comment below. I'll see you next time.